Welcome to Driving for Dollars Mastery, the best, fastest, and easiest way to find and turn wholesale properties for huge profits. We'll provide you with the tried and true strategies that are guaranteed to help you build your own business by recognizing distressed properties all from the comfort of your own vehicle. So buckle up and let's get ready to ride with your host, Zack Boothe.
I want to go back to the story you just shared of the very first lead you had, and you didn't end up getting the contract, but you realized that, there's a lot of emotion, when someone has a house that's kind of a burden to them, especially if it was a personal house or whatever it is, someone passed away, those are the kinds of things that happen, and you kind of got to build a relationship. And I teach my students and, listeners, here's a gold nugget for you. One of the worst things you can do is just throw a number at someone, because then you just never get the contract signed. They'll then shop the number around. They have multiple investors that they could work with. So you just basically give them a springboard to jump off of to the other investors, right? A starting point. Yeah. And what you want to do, like Archie found, is just build a relationship and add value and figure out what their needs are. When they're ready to sign papers, when they're ready to do a deal, that's when you negotiate the price, right? So be careful that you're not just gung-ho and just throwing numbers at people and expecting people just to, sign a paper right then and there. But you've made that mistake and you learned, right? Which is awesome. That's part of the journey, right? Is growing and struggling. And the other thing is the other thing you shared in the beginning that I think is so important for listeners to understand is, it was a struggle, and there was a lack of confidence because lack of experience, right? Like a lot of insecurity. You're like, man, am I adding the right properties? I don't know. I've got like 1,500. Someone said they added 300 and did a deal. Am I doing something wrong? Well, let me tell you, you're not doing something wrong, right? Like it takes us thousands of addresses in Tampa to do a deal. It's just part of the game, right? The more houses you add, the more chances you are to find a motivated seller. So how many addresses had you added to your list by the time you did that first $10,000 deal?
To be honest,
when
I looked on my thing, it had like 9,000 houses.
Yep.
If I look right now, I said it had like 9,000 houses for me to really just get the first one. But like I was saying, I was really adding corporate-owned houses. They not gonna sell people who just brought the house. So I was doing a whole lot of riding around. Let's see, I have 9,643 active leads, and that's what it said had the one. And I just got the first one in June, and it closed it ended in June, and it closed this month. So I was doing a whole bunch of riding around until I realized like I was kind of pretty much adding like the wrong house and the wrong people. But I hadn't got the criteria for you: the tall grass, the broken windows, old Christmas lights, and it's like summertime. People still got the Christmas thing or old Halloween stuff up there. So that's why I was like, well, what's really going on? But it was like pretty much me with my dates, and a thing that I realized too, because I came from like no type of experience in it. So, and my homeboy had actually called me. He was like, before he got on, he said, you should do wholesaling. I'm like, bro, nobody ain't finna sell me their house. And he like, and that was my mind. Even when I got into him, like, bro, nobody's not finna just sell me their house. So that kind of was another thing that kind of had done that really I feel like kind of hold me back, because even when the dude called, I went there, and I had a business report with him, because he was like, I talked to I had 3 other investors, but I like you know what I'm saying? You communicate good, you respond fast. So that's why I kind of really thought I had him. So the whole thing was just him with the being attached. And another thing was like my mentor, he had told me to take like 90 days to get healed. So my whole thing was like, but I was trying to do it quick. My girl had just moved, so she wanted me to come out there with him. I'm like, I need to find me something to do. So I'm like, 90 days? I ain't got 90 days. She want me to come. I'm like, oh man, like I need something now. So even when I was there, like my mindset wasn't really in it. And then it was like, so I know a lot of things is the mindset, like I can do this, you know what I'm saying? I can make this happen. So I really had to get that mindset, like I can really do this, but like I ain't the person that give up. So like whatever I like put myself into it, I'm gonna make it happen. Even with me like doubting myself, I'm like, I don't know, but I had just, you know what I'm saying, I just kept up on it. And I didn't realize like, and like people say, like I ain't know it was sales. I've been thinking it's just money, but sales is really is a big part in it. Not like like, you know how they say salesperson is this and that, but really just like in the sales way to add value to people. So that's not realize adding value to people, how to like put yourself in their situation, like how would they want to be help them out the most way. And I was like, oh, okay, because I wound up getting my first deal on January, like on my kind of like pushing my 90 days. I wound up getting it pushed on my 90 days, and I hadn't got it for 25,000. So I was like, oh, but what's so crazy because they like, when you get your first deal, now you gonna be in it. Even when I got the first deal, you know, it kind of wore off. Like by the third day, I'm back to college. I'm like, oh, I was still like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? But I actually did it. So that's what kind of messed me up a lot. It's really just like really not just kind of like thinking I can do it when I done did it, which I had to prove. And it was a big deal for 25,000, which I had split also too. So I really just kept on it and like, yeah, man, like I can do this. Like I gotta just stay on it, and it's really like just like a mindset thing, and it just had kept me going. So I was like, let's do it. I got it.
I appreciate you being so vulnerable. You know, a lot of people will do it what was happening in your mind. Right? In your mind, it's like, you can't do this. You got a little devil on your shoulder. You can't do this because of this and because of that. And you're not this and you're not that. And you don't have this experience. You know, you have all these negative thoughts about why you can't be successful. But the thing is, you'll never be that successful person that you want to be unless you start down the path. And you can't start down that path without being really uncomfortable and feeling really dumb. Right? I remember going from a window cleaner to wanting to do this business, and I was freaking terrified. And I think that's the case for everyone. And I'm so glad that you shared that, because, you know, that's why I wanted you to have you on the show, is because I knew you're a humble guy, and I knew you'd share that. You know, I knew that you would be like, you know, this is what my experience was, and be honest.